Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we're going to be talking about the show Hellbound. Fun fact, this show is directed by Yeon Sang-ho, who also directed one of my favorite zombie movies, Train to Busan. This show came out in 2021 and stars Yoo Ah-in, Kim Jo, and Park Jeong-min. So, without further ado, let's get right into it. Hellbound tells how people get a message that they will die in X amount of days by a mysterious floating head. And then these three demons come when it is time and takes them and leaves their charred body. This group arises called the New Truth that claim that this floating head is actually an angel sent by God, condemning these people to hell, and this group starts gaining followers rapidly. The question remains, are these really creatures from hell or something else? Hellbound has horror elements mixed with some drama. If you watch Train to Busan, Squid Games, or Supernatural, then I suggest that you give this show a try. Hellbound is 6 episodes with a 4-year time jump after episode 3, with new characters introduced after the time jump with the exception of one. The first half of this show shows how this cult was born and how it becomes to have so many followers because people felt what they were saying was true because there were just so many times that the justice system had failed its people, which led to the new truth's ideologies being born. The second half of the show shows how this cult has grown to control a lot of the daily lives of people and controls what people know about these creatures instead of what may actually be happening. We see how there are some rebels of the new truth and how after years of laying low, there is something different that happens that will make the people question the new truth's ideas when a baby gets a prophecy. The series shows how people react differently if they believe that their actual sins would be met with a declaration that they were going to die and be sent to hell. This idea was a well thought out idea, in my opinion, and showed not only different characters' perspectives, but also how this would become such a big problem for society. The new truth is like a cult, and everyone just accepts their ways because they have no other way of explaining what's happening. This shows how people believe in things that align with their own views compared to actually figuring out what is happening, but there will always be some rebels who will try to learn the truth. Then there's the Arrowhead, who is like a more aggressive offspring of the new truth, and we see how they take these ideas from the new truth and take them to an extreme, even resorting to violence and killing when need be. I love this idea from those opposing the new truth that the world belongs to humans and we need to settle our own matters. I also love how the person who is leading this, rebellion is believed to be killed by the arrowheads, and we find out that she's actually been helping people secretly so they don't get exploited by the new truth. I feel like this show didn't have a typical ending for some of its stories. For example, the police officer in the first part, which I thought was an interesting story, but it just didn't end really like the way I thought it would be. You kind of leave on like kind of like a cliffhanger, which I thought was like an interesting way of storytelling by not giving us, these solidified answers of what happened to some of these characters in the first part. There are so many characters who don't come back in the second part, but I feel like they needed to be, not included in the second part for the second part to work. They serve their purpose. I do feel like the CGI could have used some more work. The monsters would look a little bit more scary if they didn't look so fake. I think my favorite part of this show was seeing the reactions to people encountering these three creatures coming to kill a person. It was interesting to see how these demons would come, and some people would just try to face them and just deal with it, while others would try to run. It kind of makes you think, like, what would you do in that situation? When we saw the demons the first time, we really saw how they didn't care who was in the way. So, best believe that if you see them, you probably want to move because if you don't move, they're going to be moving you. Hellbound is a show that presents some interesting questions about dealing with stuff we don't quite understand. I think the cast is good, and how the story is split into two parts was very interesting. If you haven't seen Hellbound, then I suggest that you go and watch it. Thank you for watching my video. I would love to hear your thoughts down below in the comments. If you have not subscribed, please do so you can keep up to date with more of my videos. But besides that, everyone stay safe, have fun, and goodbye.